ad-lib guy. You know ad-libs are?
Yeah,
It's
where the dude in the back. The dude's actually rapping the words, and the dude in the back's like, yeah.
I think 21 Savage has my favorite ad-libs, because it'll be like him just saying... Cause, I don't know if you heard 21 Savage, but his shit is so monologue, right?
Yeah.
And it's really funny because he'll be saying, I bought my car today, 21.
Yeah, right.
I wanted to do it today. I got myself a new cell phone. 21.
Went to the grocery store.
21.
Yeah. Found out your mama a whore. 21.
Yeah. Designer also has some interesting ones. I think he speaks a different
I got brown in
language.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
What about Atlanta? Legacy. Family. Look like Atlanta.
All right, I can't talk my shit. My favorite music group is Suicide Boys, and
Dude, they put out some decent bops. I mean, I feel like a lot of their shit, it's not like the same song over and over. You know what I mean? Like, they have some variation in there.
You know, I've been a long time fan of them since I was like, I don't even know what age, but it was when they were first kind of popping off. On SoundCloud. It was shortly before Kill Yourself Part 3, which was like, you know, kind of sort of the turning point in a way.
Emily's a big Suicide Boys
fan. Oh, really?
Yeah.
But
I mean, she's the one that got me into them.
I've been listening to them for years, and you know, I watched Scrim and Ruby both go through this drug abuse problem, and always saw it as kind of a hero in a way, you know, not so much like, oh, I should go do drugs, but their songs were always like kind of telling you their struggle and in a way telling you
it's a little inspiring.
Yeah, and that's what I mean.
But also very dark.
And this past year they popped up, well, I guess 2 years ago they popped off on TikTok, and you know, take me home, take me home. Yeah. So, and Antarctica and a couple other of their songs, and it made me really happy they got clean. And I went to their concert in Newport over the summer.
Really?
And it was one of the best times in my entire like, I'm getting chills right now thinking about it.
Yeah.
I was amazing.
You know, one of my favorite bands growing up was Breaking Benjamin.
Very good one.
And I haven't been to a lot of concerts. I've been to a good handful, but it was Breaking Benjamin and Five Finger Death Punch, which...
Another good one.
Five Finger Death Punch, they have songs that I really like, and they have songs that I really don't like.
There's so much goddamn weight on my shoulders.
Breaking Benjamin absolutely killed it. I forget what year it was, but it was towards the middle of their set, he busted out a drum set and did like a whole drum solo as they were like setting things up for other things. And then they did like a rock cover, like just purely instrumental of the Imperial March as they were like setting things up. Because like it was like an interlude period, but it was like the band just playing shit for the hell of it. And I was like, this is almost cooler than listening to them. Like, obviously I love their songs, but just hearing them play shit that they just want to play while they're getting other shit ready. And like him going ham on the drums, which you never, like, he doesn't play the drums in their songs. I mean, maybe on one of them or two of them. I could be mistaken.
It's something that makes you like feel special, because you don't see that in their music unless you go and watch their concerts. You see their personality in those as well.
I'll have to show it to you. I might even put a picture of it on screen. But I paid $75 for a Breaking Benjamin flannel at that concert.
You know, I don't blame you, to be honest.
It's a nice flannel. It's got like their logo on it. It says Breaking Benjamin on the back. But, I mean, I just wanted something to commemorate how awesome of a concert that was. Because they did such a good job. And I could have got a T-shirt, but...
That's one thing I'm kicking myself about Suicide Boys is I was so excited. Because there was a pit, right? Because this is a mosh pit event, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So the middle has, 20,000 fucking people crushed into a football field size fucking arena. So we're all packed in there like sardines. And they...
Like nematodes.
Like nematodes.
A little callback from... Or tuna.
Or tuna, definitely a tuna toss.
Call back to the last part.
But the merch lines were, wrapped around the building. I wanted to get through to the front of the stage so I could mosh with everybody. But to do that, you gotta, damn near punch people in the face to get by.
You were on a mission to mosh.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And it happened, but I didn't get a T-shirt out of it.
Damn.
That's right.
Well, on that note, welcome back, everybody. If you're tuning in, you've hit episode 11 on our journey. You know, I get questions all the time. It was funny. It was funny actually. Former U.S. President Barack Obama actually reached out to me. I made the joke about him in the last episode, and it's because we have a pretty firm friendship. We call him Barry. We call him Barry around here. Actually, back in the day, we called him Barry Obama. You know why? You know why we called him Barry Obama, and it's not because of the hospitals. It's actually because he was amazing at basketball in high school. I'll throw that. There is a picture of him playing basketball in high school, and they did actually call him Barry Obama. So I'll throw that up. But he said, let me be clear, Colin. Listen, I love your podcast. But something burning in my mind. What's where we going? What's the point? And I just wanted to say it's a poignant question. The point is, at the end of this, by the time you've listened to all these episodes, we're gonna have found out the meaning of the universe through all the lessons we've learned along the way. And the meaning of this episode is that I've wasted about a good couple minutes.
I think the true meaning of this episode that you were going to is part 2 of Bad Roommates.
Yes. This is a continuation of our previous little conversation. Well, it was a lot of me expounding upon a rough living situation I had in my life, which you had to unfortunately witness. But we're gonna switch it up, and I know you got some. You brought some stuff. You brought a small bag. It's kind of overflowing with papers. They're spilling everywhere.
Oh, they're everywhere.
Quite frankly, and I don't want to pick them up, but I feel obligated to help you.
You can pick a couple up.
I guess I'll have to pick a couple of these up.
They're gonna be long ones though, but it'll only be a couple.
Man, but yeah, I mean, so besides bulking up for the tuna toss, as we discussed last time, what are some of these tales you got for me?
So as you all know, as well as Mr. Payne here, is obviously we were working at
the Krusty Krab.
Like him, as soon as we were told that place is unfortunately shutting down, I was left with the circumstance of, oh shit, I don't have a job. I was put in a position to go work at another pizza place that will be unnamed.
We'll call that the Chum Bucket.
Yeah, that'll be the Chum Bucket.
I'd argue the Krusty Krab to the
a
Chum
step
Bucket.
down from the Chum Bucket. So, anyways, after that time of going to a new pizza place, I started to want to move just like Colin did, and the only way I could do that is doing a roommate. My particular friend that, what are we gonna call him?
So, the reason that I remember this is you pointed out.
Oh,
that
Kevin.
You might call him Kevin.
Kevin, yes.
I remember that specifically because I knew a man named Kevin briefly, and he came in. He was a husband of a coworker, and he came in to visit them sometimes. And he came in one day, and I did the "Hi, Kevin" from SpongeBob. Bro, he never came back. Like
he didn't get it.
No, and he told her like he's a weirdo, like you should stay away from him. He never came back in to visit her. Like they would stay together because she was my coworker. I worked with her for months and months.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin. He rips that thing off of him, and it's not a hat. It's like their mating organ. And SpongeBob rips it off the top of his head in that episode.
Really?
You remember that?
I do. Oh, that's interesting. Steven Hillenberg is quite
whack, dude.
He's
crazy.
Interesting. You know, he was a marine biologist. That's why he.
They have special biologists in the Marines.
They go down there. Dude, it's SEAL Team 6.
I know. I got some sharks I need you to execute. Anyway, sorry. I
can't go going in.
Kevin was your...
So Kevin's my roommate. So let me give you some backstory on Kevin.
I would love some Kevin backstory. Tell me all about Kevin.
Let's go back to how I met Kevin. Kevin has been and still is one of my best friends. And before I tell you any of this, he still is one of my great friends. But there, of course, was some problems. So this lovely friend I met, I have a buddy named Jordan. This lovely man we play GTA Online with. I play with him all the time. We would go into online lobbies and we'd, kill the whole entire lobby and piss everybody off.
Well, you get the flying bike.
Yeah, exactly.
You got the flying bike.
Yeah, we were those assholes that would kill everybody.
I didn't play GTA Online a lot. I played it a little bit, and I did play around with the flying bike, and it is fun, and so is the flying car.
Oh, yeah.
It definitely does take you out a little bit, I feel like, of the whole GTA small crime heisty experience.
It's more so a little bit of nonsense.
Yeah.
But a little bit of gooberism.
It is fun.
But, so, lo and behold, we killed these people like 8 times, and this guy invites us to a party, and this was Kevin. Kevin and his brother started playing GTA with us, and we ended up becoming friends and playing for years and years and years and developing a friendship, and, we knew each other personally at that point. We had each other's numbers and Facebook and Instagram. We were close. Okay. So, years down the line, I tell Kevin...
Close with Kevin.
I like to get real close with Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
But you met him on Xbox.
Yeah, so I told him, I said, hey, at the time he was a GM at a
hot dog factory.
And he was making really good money. So I'm like, hey, you live in North Carolina right now. Move up to Ohio with me. We'll get an apartment together. I can get you a job at my pizza place instantly, making that much money with your resume. He says, cool.
Okay.
This man packs his bags from North Carolina, moves up to Ohio, kind of trusting my word, which, of course, I delivered to.
You are a very trustworthy guy.
Appreciate it. So... he moves up here, months go by. Now, I love living with Kevin. Kevin was fun at times, but it all started to go a little downhill when a bit of drinky poos got involved.
Yeah, a little bit.
A bit of an alcoholic beverage. So,
this is somebody that you still talk to, that you're so close with, right?
Absolutely.
I personally have watched alcohol destroy the lives of people around me. I have family members that have struggled with alcohol and have not come back from it. You know what I mean? What I want to say is, if you hear this, we all got problems, man, and we all deal with our problems in our own ways. And I think that we're all entitled to do that. But I think that us talking about the issue doesn't make it's not pointing a finger of this is a bad person. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm getting at, is that we're more so just highlighting, hey, these are experiences that we had as humans do. We all are flawed.
Absolutely. And like I said, we're still great friends. And at the end of the day, I'm telling you this because the experiences that him and I went through were learning for him. It was development. It was learning what not to do and how to control your emotions or anything else going on in your life. But
just like everything else.
Yeah.
It's all learning.
So one of the first things that happened was about 3 or so months into moving in. I had one of my friends come over who was real close to me, and he brought his girlfriend over. It was me, Kevin, and the couple. This man drinks an entire liter of Bacardi rum. Ugh. And finishes it, like chugs the whole entire bottle in one finishing. He proceeds to pass out on the carpet and unfortunately defecate himself.
Oh, God.
Which, by the way,
Christ.
When he was passed out, especially when he was drinking, there's nothing waking him up.
Yeah.
I've full force smacked him in the face before and tried to wake him up, and nothing will wake him up.
Just unconscious.
So as a person, you really ask yourself in this situation, you know, what the fuck do I do? Because you can't just leave him there and, you know, lay in shit. A, because it's going to make the room smell. B, he can get an infection or it's going to be gross.
Right.
And I just can't. So me and my friends took turns changing this man.
Ugh.
And then going over the balcony and puking off the end.
Yeah.
Now, this was kind of bittersweet because obviously anybody who hears this is right now.
Right.
But at the same time, this was a bonding moment between the couple that I had as friends because we all sat there and went through the same show.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a bonding.
Yeah.
It was kind of
silver
sweet.
lining there.
Right. But so that
Yikes,
that
no.
was the first time, which that's bad, right? That's real bad.
That's pretty fucking bad.
It happens, right? Everybody,
Yeah, again, we're all
maybe not
human,
everybody, but
right.
it happens. So I can talk about that and be like, hey man, maybe not drink that much.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know, by then it could be over and done with. So here's how Kevin was when he was drunk. And by the way, his drunk name, like me and my buddies would call him Kevin as his alter ego when he was drunk, which is why I'm calling him Kevin now. And he was a completely different person. He was cohesive at all. He would like be belligerent and try and like fight with you and stuff.
Yeah.
And would try and like shove you and push you. And mind you, Kevin is like 5'8", but had a sort of an ego thing. Not necessarily, but in a way, especially with like being big and bad. I think that ego somewhat needed to be checked at times, especially when he was drunk. Right. And he would always find a way with all my friends to try and like beef up to him, puff his chest out. And
it's like showing off in a way.
In a respectful way, I'd check him. And the only person he'd ever like chill out with when he was drunk was me, because I'd grab him by the scruff and be like, hey, calm the fuck down.
Right. I've heard about that whole like alter people being drunk and like turning into completely different people.
Oh yeah. Completely different person.
It's wild. I've had times where I've gotten pretty hammered, but I've never gotten to the point where I've like
not been somewhat coherent,
completely a fool. Like, you know, I've never been blackout drunk. Like, I've remembered pretty much every time that I've gotten drunk. I remember most of it, like the important stuff. You know,
maybe
I mean?
Not like little side conversations. Right. It might be a blur. But
I might have told someone that I think that their shirt's cool when I really hated it.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? I've heard of. I just want to say I've heard of that before, and that is nuts. And unfortunate that you went through that.
Yeah, it turns people into completely side characters, essentially.
Yeah, it should be fine as long as they don't like jump around and slam any shit.
I will take this completely random.
You're making Casey vomit. He's a sensitive boy. He might be damn near 9 feet tall, but he's sensitive. I add a foot every time. I hope you've noticed that. I've added a foot every time that I've exaggerated his height.
I'm going to be 10 tomorrow.
He's 20 feet tall, 90 feet wide. He's a wall.
He's an animal.
I'm recording, so I forgot that I was still recording. He's a goddamn wall. Do you remember when we would go...
Don't forget to cut this part out. You big dick motherfucker.
Oh my god.
You're gonna be sitting there in your chair listening to this going, I remember when he was doing this.
I remember when my dick was all big.
He was sitting here going,
Do you remember when we would go out behind the Krusty Krab when it was dead? Because everyone like hit vapes and shit. And there was that little like grassy field. So I would go out there sometimes and I would go like lay down in that field. And one time I had been laying out there and I came back in and a fucking, what are they called, dude? They chirp. Jesus Christ. I'm keeping that in because that was gnarly. What are they called?
Brought to you by Sprite.
Well, yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Coca-Cola Corporation. Crickets.
Crickets.
Yeah, a Jiminy Cricket. A cricket. I was laying in the grass behind the Krusty Krab, and I came back in from my little breaky break, and a cricket had crawled into my shirt. And it, like, fell out, and it, like, hopped away. And I, like, heard it chirping as it, like, hopped away. Because they, like, do that noise when they, like, are in distress. You know? Or, like, it's, like, a mating call or, like, a distress call. It might have been, I don't know. I think it was a cricket. But it was some kind of bug, and it jumped away from me. It jumped, fell out of my shirt, freaked me out, and leaped away from me on the floor. I just wanted you to know that.
I'm trying to remember if at any time I heard chirp, chirp, chirp,
Right.
chirp. I don't think I have. Maybe he died shortly after. Could have got stepped on.
I hope so.
Colin murders crickets.
I just remember it really freaked me out. I don't like bugs, like, at all. And I'm usually, like, if I can see the bug and analyze the bug, I'm okay with it. But just
Comment now if you want Colin to eat a tarantula.
No.
So Kevin, so
You changed him and all this.
oh yeah, so that was
Nasty
like
gunk.
the first, altercation
Yeah.
that was technically really no big deal, just kind of a minor
Right.
inconvenience, really.
Mm-hmm.
So the next thing that really showed the problem was me and my best friend were coming home from north of our town. It's like an hour drive. And I get a call from Kevin, and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I answer, and he's not making any sense. And he's like, all I can hear is him going, help, help. And I'm like, where are you? What's going on? He goes, I went on a walk. And I went, a walk? And he's like, help. I'm like, okay, what the fuck? So I knew exactly where he was. He would randomly go on walks, and there's this, like, bridge that's right across the street from my apartment complex. I knew he was there. I just knew he was. So
Right.
I'm hauling ass home. I pull up behind him with my lights on, and my best friend's in the passenger seat. As I'm pulling up on him, he puts his right hand up and has his Glock 19 in his hand. Now, here's the problem here. This man did not know that we were the ones behind him. What if we were A, a cop, B, a pedestrian, or literally anybody else but us? He would
Right.
have been arrested or killed or both.
Yeah.
So my best friend gets out of the car, he rips the gun out of his hand and takes it all out. And this man is so pissed drunk that he doesn't even know what he's doing, where he's at, and for some reason decided to bring his firearm out there.
Jesus.
So now it becomes a problem. Now I can't, have the confidence to go out of my house and know that he's going to be safe and not cause a problem or hurt himself or hurt somebody else.
Right.
So now I feel like I have an obligation to sit there and babysit him and make sure he's not doing anything stupid. Mind you, this man's a year older than me.
Yeah.
So now I started to get pissed off, and it started to get more frequent that he would be shit-faced drunk, acting a fool at the house, and embarrassing me in front of my friends, that it got more and more and more pressed. So the next altercation was I was at a club down in Cincinnati, and there was a band playing. It was one of my friends really wanted me to go see this band and has been dying to take me for like months, right?
Mm-hmm.
I go down there. I get a call from my girlfriend. Fucking the house. He's trying to go drive, and she keeps trying to block the door, and he keeps trying to push her past and go out the door.
Damn.
So now I have a problem.
Right.
So I call him at this concert, and I lose my fucking mind on him. I'm saying, like, if I gotta come home, I'm really gonna fuck you up.
Right.
And he wasn't making any sense. Alex kept texting me and calling me and telling me what was going on, so I ended up leaving this concert early. And lucky for him, he was asleep by the time I got back home because I was ready to fucking go.
Right.
So that really was like almost the final straw that really, I guess, tested our friendship at that point. I was so mad.
Understandable,
and
yeah.
it was never addressed what happened ever.
Damn.
Like, it was always just, no problem. It really wasn't that big a deal, kind of, is how he reacted.
Sweeping it under the
Yeah.
rug type of thing.
And I would show that the next day and like just kind of ignore him or whatever, and I guess he wouldn't get the hint. So the final kind of nail on the coffin a couple months ago, I'm at work and I get a call from one of my friends. He was supposed to go over there and help him move. He gets to their house, drinks an entire bottle of vodka, and gets way too drunk, so they had to drive his ass back to the house and ruin their day moving and everything. As my buddy Shep is going 85 down the highway, he pulls his fucking emergency brake in his car, pissed drunk, and makes Shep almost spin out.
Jesus Christ.
He swerves like left and right, somehow maintained control of the vehicle, and was this close to hitting the guardrail.
Oh my God.
So almost kills my friend and my other buddy that was in that car.
Right.
So they call me and tell me this, and telling me I'm taking him to your place and we're fucking leaving. So I go and tell my boss what just happened. I said, I gotta go.
Right.
Oh boy, I go home and I lose my ever-loving fucking mind, dude. I sit there and I'm railing into him. Me and my other buddy ended up getting in contact with his parents and his brother down in North Carolina. Told him what happened. Next day, drove up and got him, packed all his shit and left.
Damn.
But that was rough. Like, that was a day that I won't forget.
That sounds fucking rough.
Because I was this close to knocking him the fuck out.
Has he acknowledged since then that stuff?
So, that event was a real, I guess, like, eye-opener. Because there was a massive consequence to that action. And there was a massive realization when I said, you almost killed Shep.
Right.
You were this close.
Yeah.
And I think that was a wake-up call of like, oh, fuck, I almost killed my friend because
Yeah.
I did something stupid. So he moved back, and he's been doing much better,
That's
actually
good.
happy, and, you know, focusing on the problems he did have, getting his money back up and everything.
Right.
So, with all that being said, not a bad person at all. Kind of let alcohol suppress his true feelings, what was going on. 'Cause he's a real family man, real great guy who loves his family and was away from them for so long.
Right.
So he was put in a new environment without his family. He doesn't know anybody and was struggling to make good money. So he was just sad.
Yeah.
And, you know, to feel that sadness when you're sitting at home doing nothing is to get stupid.
Oh yeah.
And when you're stupid, you're stupid.
Right. I've seen it. Seen it plenty of times.
Oh yeah. But I guess the moral of this is, you know, be patient with people like that, but to an extent.
Right.
That was the hardest, you know, I wasn't the one who made that call to his dad. It was my buddy.
Right.
That's a really hard call to make. Like, one of your really good friends who's 23 years old to call his dad and say, hey, your son has an alcohol problem. You need to come fix this.
Right.
You need to drive up 12 hours to come get your son and
Nobody
back to
wants
shit.
to be the one to say all that.
That's another thing. He was so fucked up drunk that I couldn't tell him. So he literally found out 8 hours before moving that he was leaving.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he woke up, when he was a little more sober, that's when he found out.
Right. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, everybody deals with their problems differently, but it is literal poison.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
It literally is poison. But I don't know. I mean, I know a good few people that drink and have the ability to limit themselves, you know what I mean, and not overdo it.
You'd think
on a
that'd be like the
regular
average
basis.
person almost.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know, you'd be surprised at how many people just get shit faced and
Can't control themselves.
Yeah.
Don't have any
destroy things and puke everywhere.
don't have any self-discipline.
No. We all go through our ups and our downs, you know, from coming a long way from when we met each other at the Krusty Krab. I know that you were telling me a little bit earlier that you started your own company.
Yeah.
That's pretty nuts.
Well, I appreciate it.
You know, and I tell me a little bit about that. I'm sure.
Well, me and 2 other people run a company called Souls by Cincy. We make custom hand painted shoes out in Cincinnati area. Make lots of damn, sorry, I was put on the spot. My bad.
No, you're good. That's kind of what I do.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I make custom shoes.
Nice. What kind of shoes mainly do you
I
work
mostly
in?
do white Air Force Ones just because they're kind of a really popular on their own. They're really popular.
Yeah, the Air Force One is extremely
Yeah.
popular.
We also do black Air Force Ones a lot too, but I also dabble in Converse, Vans, etc. Really anything you could want, I could do.
Nice.
I'd like to dabble in boots. Boots would be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
What's like your typical rate for like if you were to do like a pair of Vans?
It depends on the artwork, really. I've had people come and say they want a whole anime character on the shoe with a whole
Right.
scene. That one's gonna be somewhere in the 300, 400 plus
Right.
range, depending on what it is. But you want to throw a little bit of color. Because if you see an Air Force, but you're like, oh, I really would like some blue there and some red there,
Right.
I could do that for you, and that'd cost you maybe an extra 50 on top of shoe price, which is like 150, 160.
Right.
But depending on customer, depending on clients, can really go anywhere from 150 to $1,000 at the very most. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. You accounting for obviously the time you put into it and the materials on top of the shoe cost itself.
A lot of people get kind of baffled whenever I tell them a price on a shoe that they really want. I'm like, you don't understand how many hours it takes, how much material I use, how much research I do,
Right.
and all that to do this.
You'll find that nearly any artist will tell you the same thing. Like anybody that makes money off of their art, they tell people like, "Oh, this is what I charge," and people are like, "What?
Mm-hmm.
What?" You know what I mean? I get it. Like things are expensive everywhere, but pay your artists, man. If you're going out of your way to get something made specifically for you, be ready to pay for the time and effort put into it. Especially if you want a good job done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
I'm not Nike. I'm not commercially making shoes for you
Right.
with a machine. I am custom painting them from hand with 2 other people.
damn.
We take care and consideration of your things to make it look fantastic, and we spend the time and materials to do so. That's
Right.
why we charge so much.
Yeah. Even from what I saw in the picture, it seems like you guys do a really good job.
Oh,
So
absolutely. Take pride in that for sure.
we'll have to work something out. Maybe get an Uncommon Nonsense shoe.
Oh yeah, that'd be
For the-
great. Put it on the wall.
Yeah, eventually we're gonna have the evolution of Uncommon Nonsense Studios is culminating into a video podcast. Eventually, it's
Video
down the
coming
road.
to you soon.
Yeah, but that'd be cool to have on
You can
the
see my
on the wall.
9-foot stature.
Yeah, he's damn near 10.5 feet tall.
Pushing 12 feet.
Yeah, and he keeps growing. Well, when he got here, I had a whole gallon of whole milk. And he immediately was like, "Hey, man, it's really good to see you." And I was like, "Hey," and I went to give him a big hug, and he was like, "No, I'm busy." And he walked immediately to my fridge, took the gallon of whole milk, and chugged it like a cartoon character. It did like the gulp, and he crumpled it and threw it on the floor.
I smashed it on my head to show dominance, and
Yeah.
then threw it on his floor to show more dominance.
Right,
And
and-
then I took the deed to his house.
Yeah.
I think that's how it works.
Pretty much. And so now I need milk and a new place to live. But yeah, so you be making shoes, huh?
I do be making shoes, yeah.
Is it hard to paint a shoe?
That's a hard question. Some are a bitch, I would say.
Really?
Some of the because the customer, all they see is you order it, you wait a little time, and then you get them in a box and they look fantastic. Right?
Yeah, right.
What I see is
Well, that's why they're baffled by it being paid so much, because
Right.
to them it just shows up.
absolutely.
It's like, why am I paying this much for these shoes to just show up?
You don't realize how many times I've acetoned that side of that shoe to
Right.
get it perfect for the client.
Or how many times I fucked up the Sonic face
Right.
and had to repaint it.
or oh fuck, I painted the wrong color here, or that color doesn't match that color that I was using before.
Right.
There's a lot of tricks to the trade that we've learned along the way. That's been a lot of trial and error, a lot of error, but is now getting to the point where it's successful and kind of running like a machine.
There you go. What's the most difficult shoe you've painted?
Anything with line work, man. Like I think any tattoo artist would agree. Anything that's intricate.
Yeah.
Like you want an anime character, you want Joker, you want Batman, you want, a superhero. That's hard. It's hard to draw alone on a piece of paper, let alone on a shoe with curves, edges, bumps, and all that other stuff. Yeah. Not only that, but you're painting it. You're using a paintbrush that maybe can't get that exact line that you're looking for. Right. So sometimes it can be hard. But sometimes you get a client that just wants a blue shoe, and you're like, "Oh, fantastic!"
So, I'm gonna then. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna spitball you a couple shoe ideas, and you can tell me on a scale of like 1 to 10 how hard it would be to crank it out in your current state, in your business state. All right. So here's what immediately comes to mind: Air Force Ones. Black, okay, with a negative, like I want an image of the one, the only megachurch pastor Joel Osteen, but I want it to be a negative,
like just like his face.
Yeah, but in whites and grays, on a black shoe, like as if you would do, like imagine like you would do a black and white image on a white shoe, invert it.
So it would be white on a black shoe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joel Osteen.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Peering into my soul with his piercing smile.
I'd give that a solid 9 out of 10. I think that'd be extremely difficult.
Okay, so then here's how I would make it a 10 out of 10. I want the shoes, like I only like instead of like a face on each foot. Right? That was probably what you were picturing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I want it to where when you put the shoes together, it makes the face. There's half of a face on either foot.
That will make it a 10. I think that make it 11.
There we go. Okay. We're getting somewhere. So then, hypothetically, what if I wanted a baby blue van with a jellyfish on it?
Give that like a solid 4 or 5 out of 10.
Okay. What about if the jellyfish had the Declaration of Independence that he had recently stolen?
Would I have to write the actual words, the Declaration of Independence, on there?
I
or
only
can I
ask.
Go with scribbles.
I only ask that you specifically write "We the People," and then
do I have to do the same calligraphy of the "We the People"?
No, but it has to visibly say "We the People." As long as you can read that it says "We the People."
So can it look like a first grader did it in their handwriting and still be okay?
Yeah.
So if it's just a square that says "We the People" on it, that'll fly.
Yeah. What if... Okay, here's a good one. All right, I'll throw one more at you. What if, hypothetically, we got a shoe that had on one foot Ruby from Max and Ruby, and on the other foot Max from Max and Ruby, but they were holding their hands out so that when your feet touch, they're passing a joint.
Oh my god.
Their eyes are all
that
red.
That is an idea right there. I like that a lot.
Something to think about.
Huh.
But I want it painted in the style, the biblical painting where God is reaching for man.
Yeah.
And they're passing. I want it like that, and they're passing the joint, and it's Max and Ruby, which I'm pretty sure they're both in the show. They're both children.
Oh, they are. Yeah, absolutely.
Children, but they're also rabbits.
They're fictional.
They can have fictional weed.
Fictional characters.
Can they have fictional weed?
Yeah,
they make SpongeBob smoke fiction. I mean, he's a fictional adult though. He has a job.
He's a cartoon. He's not even a he. It's just a sponge. It's an animated sponge.
He's a fictional gangster. I think that this should come to your attention.
Mm-hmm.
You're a bit of a tech guy, right?
A little bit, yeah. I'd say so.
You've heard of Chat GPT?
I don't know if I have.
Really?
I haven't.
Oh boy. Well, I'm gonna make this a little bit of a staple, I think, on the show.
Okay.
Because a couple episodes ago, at the time of recording, they've not been released. I still am working on them. But a little bit ago, we had a big recording session with all my friends. And it was me and Jeremiah and Derek, good friends of the show, and my buddy Aaron, who was on an episode that I at this time also has not been released. I'm still working on that one too. Sorry. But all that to be said, we ended up messing with this program, which is a chat. It's a chat bot, but it's an AI like that is extremely good. It's like, as far as I understand, it's the highest like consumer available level AI that we have. Like this thing's crazy. That being said, it does have certain restrictions. Like I'll pull this up real quick and we'll do like a test run of it just to show you how it works, because this is pretty nuts. So for instance, let's say you can, like, what I find to be the most interesting is I tell it to do stuff. You tell it to do stuff and it does it for you, you know? Like if you wanted to be really practical with it, Derek had it write him a resume. Like he was like, write a resume for somebody with these qualifications for this position. And it was a pretty damn good resume. You know what I mean? So I'll have it say, how about like, we'll have it write a scene from a movie. Okay, so I said, write a scene about a man training to toss tuna in the 17th annual Tuna Palooza tuna toss competition. Right? And as you can see, it's going.
Oh yeah, it's going.
The sun was just beginning to rise over the calm waters of the Pacific Ocean as Jack Johnson made his way down the beach. He was dressed in his favorite fishing gear, and he carried a large bucket filled with freshly caught tuna. Jack had been training for months for the 17th annual Tuna Palooza. Oh, I spelled tuna wrong, and it did as well, because it just mimicked what I put in, so that's kind of funny. And he was determined to take home the trophy. But, you know, like, you can see, I said write a scene, and it gave me a whole short story here that I'm not going to read off. But it appears as though he ends up winning this tuna. And it also confused, it doesn't seem to realize that what a tuna toss competition is. It thinks that I meant
Maybe
like
try again to spell tuna right.
Tuna catching. Yeah. Well, what I'm thinking is, let's have it write us an episode of SpongeBob. So what's a good premise for an episode of SpongeBob that you would like to see?
Write an episode of SpongeBob where Plankton successfully steals the Krabby Patty formula.
All right, so you want to see Plankton win?
He's never won. Like he'll like get a cock tease a little bit. Like they'll let him have it for like a little bit, and then like they'll come back and get it right back.
Okay, I said write me a screenplay for a SpongeBob episode where Plankton successfully steals the Krabby Patty secret formula. Let's see what it gives me. Here we go. This is what I wanted. Fade in. Exterior. Krusty Krab. Day. SpongeBob is flipping Krabby Patties while Mr. Krabs counts his money. Plankton is seen hiding behind a rock, wearing a disguise. Plankton, to himself. This is it. I've finally perfected my plan. That's my Plankton. It's not very good. Plankton takes a deep breath and adjusts his disguise. He then steps out from behind the rock and walks into the Krusty Krab. Interior, Krusty Krab, day. Plankton walks up to the counter and places an order. Plankton, 1 Krabby Patty, please. SpongeBob smiles and quickly makes the Krabby Patty while Plankton looks around the restaurant. Plankton, to himself, there it is. The safe with the secret formula. Plankton slowly walks behind the counter and makes his way to the safe. He opens the safe and takes out the Krabby Patty secret formula. Yes. Dude, that was good. That scared me.
The Krabby Patty formula.
Plankton, to himself, says, I can't believe it. I finally have it. He closes the safe and walks out of the Krusty Krab. Exterior, chum bucket. Day. Right, now we're at the chum bucket. It's even thrown in a secondary location. Plankton enters the chum bucket and immediately starts working on a new burger recipe. And he says this is going to be the best burger ever. Hours pass and Plankton finally finishes the burger recipe. He takes a bite of the burger and smiles to himself. This is it, he says. I've finally done it. Suddenly there's a knock on the door. And Plankton says, oh no, it's Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob. Can I get a Plankton oh no?
Oh no!
So he quickly hides the recipe and opens the door. Mr. Krabs confronts him. SpongeBob says, give it back, Plankton. Bah. And Plankton just gives it back. And it says, he hands the all it takes is SpongeBob saying, give it back, Plankton. And Plankton says, okay, you win. And he hands the formula to Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob, who quickly leave. Plankton to himself, I guess I'll never beat them. He's in his feelings. Plankton starts to walk away, but suddenly hears a strange noise coming from the kitchen. He walks back to the kitchen and sees the burger recipe is glowing. Oh, the burger he made. He says, what's happening? Suddenly the burger transforms into a new type of burger. Plankton to himself, it's amazing. I've created something even better than the Krabby Patty. Plankton takes a bite of his new burger and smiles. Plankton to himself, I may have lost the battle, but I've won the war. Fade out.
That's a deep SpongeBob episode.
Bro, what kind of fucking SpongeBob episode was that? It started out very normal. That was a very normal and like exactly what I expected, and then it went kind of off the rails. Really took me for a fucking loop there, huh?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. I told it to describe a custom pair of shoes for a man that loves carrots. So you might have to make these.
Oh, let's hear about them.
A custom pair of shoes for a man that loves carrots would be eye-catching and unique design that incorporates his favorite vegetable. The shoes would be made of a bright orange canvas material with green accents around the edges to represent the green tops of a carrot. The laces would be green as well, tying in with the overall carrot theme. To take the design to the next level, the shoes could be adorned with a small fabric carrot in various sizes, strategically placed throughout the shoes. The carrots would be embroidered with green thread to add detail and texture. The insoles of the shoes could also feature an illustrated print of carrots, perhaps with a whimsical twist, such as cartoon carrots with smiling faces. Overall, this custom pair of shoes would be playful and fun, and would be a playful and fun tribute to a man's love of carrots, while also being a functional and comfortable everyday footwear.
Functional and comfortable.
Yeah. And carrot base. How much for the carrot shoe?
$3,694.42.
Shit, dog. I mean, I guess that's fair,
It sounds like pretty easy, though. It's kind of a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, if you got somebody that really, really loves carrots, then they might really, really love this podcast, and you should tell them about it. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. I think we covered some good ground here today. Do you want to tell people where they can find? You want to plug your business?
You
tell
go
people
to
where they can find it?
Instagram at Souls by Cincy. You can find all of our links there to buy stuff, get in our DMs.
Buy some carrot shoes.
Buy some carrot shoes. Open up AI bots. Ask them what you want. If you don't know what you want, ask an AI.
Here's what you do. You open up Chat GPT and you say, hey, design me a shoe for a person who loves blank, and you fill in that blank with something that you love, and it will do that for you. But yeah, if you want to stay up to date with our podcast here, Uncommon Nonsense with Colin Payne, that's me, by the way. I don't know if I told you guys that. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Uncommon Colin. That's Uncommon COLLIN. And yeah, I mean, we got more episodes coming, more episodes on the way. You guys stay safe out there, and stay nice and carroty.
Carrots.
And so
get real high and I scream at the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I said, hey, yeah.
What's going on? All right, sorry.
That's the outro.
Thank you guys for watching.